Hello, this is Eric. Welcome to my channel, Redwood North Trading. This is the closing trade alert for AMD. This trade actually closed yesterday, but I'm just now getting around to making the video. Overall, not much has changed. About 3 weeks ago, I opened the trade here in mid-December. I sold the 85 put, and I collected $1.52 credit. And just yesterday, I closed the trade for a 61-cent debit, which was right about 60% of my max profit, which is great. Let's take a look at the chart and see how the trade played out. This trade is another great example of why selling options is so powerful. I opened this trade here on the 15th of December 2020, this vertical line. I sold the 85 put for $1.52 right here. When I opened the trade, the underlying stock price was right here around $96.50. And the reason I say selling options is so powerful, look at this. I sold the 85 put. So in theory, that means I want the price to go up, or at least stay up, right? Which I guess technically that happened. However, also technically speaking, I was wrong on the direction of the price, right? I opened the trade here, and ideally I want the stock price to go up, and I'll get paid faster. Well, the first couple days it went sideways, but then it started to move down and technically went against me. I think at one point here I was negative on the trade, but then just these last few days it's really just stayed the same, right around $92. And then yesterday morning, the first trading day of 2021, there was a big move up. It spiked up like in the first hour trading like almost to $96. And then that's when my order got filled. I wasn't even paying attention and it cashed out and I got 59.9% of my max profit. This is another great example of why I always place GTC orders for my closing trades ahead of time. I placed that closing order like way back here, like basically the day that I opened the trade, I placed the closing order for it, even though I know it's not going to fill for 2 or 3 weeks, right? And I do that because if I get a lucky move like this, I couldn't predict that that was going to spike up, from $92 to $96. There's no way you can predict that. Well, since I already had my order in place, it didn't matter if I could predict it. I just got a lucky fill because it had spiked way up right here. And had I been trying to watch it and manually time that, I probably never would have gotten filled because it was a brief spike up, came right back down, and now look, this is the next day and it's trading lower around $92 again. And maybe I could have gotten filled when it spiked up here to like $93. Who knows? But yeah, that's why I always place closing orders ahead of time, because if you get a lucky spike up like this, or any sort of spike of price movement in your favor, you'll get filled and you're not even paying attention. I know I personally like to streamline whatever I do to the best that I can, and putting these orders in ahead of time is doing exactly that. So between placing orders ahead of time and then I was ultimately wrong on the price direction, this went down against me. But mostly with time decay being on my side, it didn't matter. As long as it stayed above this 85 put, which it did, time decay was on my side, and 20 days later, I still cashed out for 50% of my max profit. I actually got almost 60% of the max profit. And that is why option selling is so powerful, because if I had bought the stock up here, or if I had purchased a call, I would be down roughly $4 per share. And certainly if I had purchased a call, I would be down a pretty big portion of my call. Whereas selling a put is a similar directional bet, right? Like I want the stock to go up when I sell a put, just like I want the stock to go up if I buy a call. Well, selling the put is similar, except you have time decay in your favor instead of working against you. The reason people buy calls is because when they look at the two scenarios, they're like, well, if I buy a call, I have unlimited profits in theory and a capped loss. Where when you sell the put, it's the opposite. I have a capped max profit and technically an unlimited loss. Or if this goes all the way to zero, I'd lose like $8,500, right? So which one sounds sexier, right? Unlimited profits or unlimited losses, right? Obviously the unlimited profits sounds awesome, but that's all theoretical, right? And that's why, in my opinion, buying calls and buying puts is just, it's a gamble. It's basically going to the casino, and it's the whole gambler's fallacy or whatever it's called. Buying options is a gamble, in my opinion, because most of the factors are working against you, where when you sell options, most of the factors are working in your favor. Anyways, rambled on enough about that. Let's do the quick rundown here. The duration of trade was 20 days, which is pretty average. It's a little bit long for a naked put, but again, this was technically going against me and finished below my underlying price that I opened at by $4, but I still got paid almost 60%. So that's why I was stuck in the trade a little bit longer. If it goes in your favor, you know, this can be as quick as like 5 to 7 days. If it kind of moves against you like this, you're stuck in a little longer at 20 days. But hey, that's fine. My strike was never threatened. Nothing about this was really out of the ordinary. After 20 days, I ended up with 59.9% of my max profit. That ended up being a return on capital of 10.7%, which is pretty good. And then ultimately, all of that together gave me a profit per contract of $91. All right, I think that covers everything. This trade was really pretty simple. I was stuck in it a little bit longer maybe than I wanted to or hoped for, but really 20 days is pretty average. Like, you can't really complain about that with any sort of naked put or strangle or any kind of naked premium trade, right? 14 to 21 days is kind of what I always say is the average. I think technically the average is around 18 days if you do the math. So really 20 days it's right there. It's always nice to see with these single leg, you know, naked puts or naked call play out faster than that. Sometimes it's more like 7 to 10 days. I'll take 60% profit in 20 days every single time. I will never complain about that ever. So yeah, pretty easy, straightforward trade. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep trading small, keep trading often, and I'll catch you in the next video.